Alright guys, so today we're going to be checking out the LavaBeans EB11, and from here on out I'm basically going to call them the LavaBeans 2 because this is an upgraded version of the LavaBeans that we checked out really I think only like a month or two ago. And so what the company decided to do was give you some pretty significant upgrades with this newer version, and they actually at the moment have it where it comes in at a lower price tag because right now they do retail for 32 bucks. But they have some kind of 40% off coupon code on Amazon, which brings the price all the way down to 20 bucks. And it's insane the amount of upgrades that they've made, which we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about what all comes inside the box. We're gonna talk about the sound and see why I pretty much feel this is a no-brainer coming in at 20 bucks. And honestly, even at the retail price of 32. Now this pair does still have Bluetooth 5.0. It does only have AAC and SBC playback, so just like the originals, there's no high-end Bluetooth codecs here, but I didn't notice any kind of compression, and I felt like this was a very good pair to use for movies, videos, and even with gaming, because I didn't notice any lag with movies or videos, and with gaming there is a slight lag, so if you're somebody that's really serious about mobile gaming, this may not be the pair for you, but for all other types of media, this is an excellent choice. Now, as far as the drivers that they're using on these, they are using a 10.6mm titanium dynamic driver, and they're also mixing that with a balanced armature driver. So they're trying to keep your bass separated from your mids and highs. That way they can try to push it up as much and get the most out of each of those frequencies. But we'll talk about that once we get to the sound. Now, if you are somebody that likes to use your earbuds outdoors or maybe at the gym or by the pool, this pair comes in rated at IPX8. So just like the originals, these are completely waterproof. You don't have to worry if it rains or if they get splashed on, and you don't even have to worry if they get submerged into water. So that's a huge plus if you're somebody that likes to use your earbuds in those type of situations. Now, as far as what all they give you inside the box, you do actually get 5 sets of silicone ear tips, and there's 2 different styles inside the box. One seems to be slightly thicker than the other, and I felt like the ear tips does affect the audio quality slightly. One gives you a little bit more bass than the other, and it just could be because one is more firm than the other. And then as far as the charging cable, it does come with a USB-C cable, and one of the huge improvements of this pair over the originals is this pair now has Qi wireless charging. So you don't even have to keep up with that USB-C cable. You could just come in, drop them on any wireless charger, and you're good to go. And speaking of the charging, this is another area that they made quite a big improvement on because the earbuds are going to give you about 9 hours of battery life, which was just like the originals. But now with this new case, you can get up to 126 hours total. And the original ones would give you 35, which I felt was already impressive. But now being able to get 126 means you really don't have to worry about battery life at all. And another thing is this pair also upgraded the fast charge feature because the original ones with a 10-minute charge would give you 90 minutes of use, where with this pair on a 15-minute charge, you can actually get 3 hours of use. And I think that is very impressive when it comes to fast charging. And this is, again, just one of those pairs that it's gonna seem like you always have unlimited battery power. But the reason they were able to get that impressive battery life out of the case on these is the case is larger than the originals. Now, they have made some different changes on the case, obviously adding Qi wireless charging, and now you have your battery readout located underneath the lid instead of it being slapped on the front. And I like this because it just keeps things a little more hidden and it doesn't make the case seem as cheap on the outside. Now, as far as anything else on the case, on the back, you do have that USB-C input for charging. But when you open up the lid, especially if you're somebody that bought the original LavaBeans, the first thing you're gonna notice is the earbuds look exactly the same. And in fact, I think they may be exactly the same. I do think they made a couple minor adjustments, but this pair still does use touch controls. And again, it's another pair that I'm happy to say gives you control over everything. So you have your play, your pause, your ability to skip your tracks forward, go backwards, and then you have your volume control. And again, this is something a lot of other companies just seem to leave out. So I'm happy that LavaBeans stuck with this and allow you to control everything right there on the earbuds. Now, as far as you guys that do like to use your earbuds for phone calls, this pair is now using 4 beamforming mics, which are focused in right at your voice, and is doing a very good job of blocking out your surroundings. But you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here. So here is the mic test with the new LavaBeans, and again, just like the originals, I think it does a very good job picking up my voice.
And this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call. And so now here is the mic test or the crowd noise being played that you can hear here. And so this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call in public.
So now let's talk about the sound, because I do feel like the sound on this pair compared to the originals seems like they decided to try to boost the bass slightly. Now this is still a warmer sounding earbud overall, but because they have that dynamic driver separated from the balanced armature driver, you're still able to hear all of your details very clearly. Now moving back to the bass itself, it can be a very boomy pair. I felt like with metal, it's able to give you that impact when it comes to double bass with the drums, but with pop and hip hop and anything that's more focused on bass, you're able to just feel that boomy type feel. So if you are a bass head and you just like to have that subwoofer type feel when it comes to your bass, I feel like this pair definitely checks that box. But the huge plus is it doesn't stray away from giving you those details in your mids and your treble, because vocalists sounded extremely upfront. Everything sounded very clear, and everything had a natural tone to it because it had that slightly warmer sound. It doesn't seem like they're trying to make vocalists or certain instruments have that artificial sound. So I was really pleased with the mids on these. And again, with the treble, I felt like these were very detailed, but because it has that slightly warmer tone, this isn't a treble that gets very bright. It's not even close to the point of being harsh, but it still allowed it to bring out a lot of excellent detail. So when you mix that with the fact that the soundstage and the sound imaging is also very impressive, this pair does have a slightly airy sound to it, which opens things up, and it just does a very good job of being able to tell where certain instruments and vocalists and everything is coming from. So basically, LavaBeans took what was already a very impressive pair for its price range and just gave you some significant upgrades, giving you really good battery life this time around, giving you Qi wireless charging, and also improving the fast charging. And I also feel like they boosted the bass a little bit more to try to please some of you bass heads out there. Now I will say the only complaint that I really have about this pair is if you're somebody that's not a bass head or you don't like that warmer sound signature, really there's no way to EQ these. They don't have an app, there's not different EQ settings in the earbud itself, so you get the sound the way that it is out of the box, which I feel like is pleasing to pretty much every genre that I tested, and I think most people are gonna be completely happy with them. But if you are somebody that wants that reference or flat sound, this is the furthest thing from it, so I wouldn't recommend them for people looking for that. But outside of that, this is an excellent value. In fact, I think it's a steal coming in at 20 bucks. And I really even think even at the $32, you're coming away with a hell of a pair of earbuds that it's gonna be hard to have any complaints in this price range. But guys, that wraps up my video on the LavaBeans 2 or EB11. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.